Hi students, as a part of our discussion for 10th class PS, that too difficult chapter, electromagnetic induction, I am going to explain about Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So here you can see, imagine this is a bar magnet with its north pole and south pole. Place this bar magnet on a white paper and sprinkle some iron fillings and just tap that paper. After some time you can see that iron fillings are arranged like these circular lines. These are nothing but called as magnetic field lines or else magnetic lines of force. Around the magnet you can see them on either side of the magnet, at the top of the magnet, right? They will extend in 3 dimensions, magnetic field lines. So here we could see the 2-dimensional arrangement of these magnetic field lines. These magnetic field lines, if you observe, they are extending from north to south. Okay? These magnetic field lines, they will start from north pole to south pole. First of all, these are imaginary lines. Magnetic field lines are imaginary lines around the magnet. They will be starting from north pole to south pole outside the magnet. And inside the magnet, we can't see actually, but it will be from, the direction is from south to north. In the case of a solenoid, you can observe clearly the magnetic field lines extending from south to north inside the magnet, because the solenoid will behave like a magnet, right? These magnetic field lines, imaginary lines, they are extending from north to south outside, inside south to north, and we can conclude them as closed loops. Closed loops, as they are extending north to south outside and south to north inside. These are closed loops. And the main thing is that these magnetic field lines which are extending around the magnet, they will constitute magnetic field. Magnetic field. To which extent these magnetic field lines are surrounding a bar magnet, up to there the effect of magnet can be felt, which can be called as magnetic field. So magnetic field is constituted by magnetic field lines or magnetic lines of force. Now imagine an area perpendicular to this magnetic field and see how many magnetic field lines are passing through that area. That is called as magnetic flux. So the number of magnetic field lines, just the number of magnetic field lines passing through an imagined plane, is called as magnetic flux. It is represented with the letter phi and it is measured in units called Webers. So this magnetic flux is constituting the magnetic field.
Okay.
That magnetic field lines are surrounding a magnet. Here we are having a coil connected to a galvanometer, and this is a closed coil, you can see, and there is no source of electricity. Just a galvanometer is connected to the coil. Here this galvanometer reads the current in the coil. If there is any current in the coil, it can read by showing the deflection. Normally it will be at 0. Now we are having a magnet and we are bringing that magnet towards the coil with its north pole facing. Just imagine we are bringing the magnet with its north pole facing the coil. And when you are bringing that magnet close towards the coil, you can see the deflection in galvanometer in one side. And if you are taking away the bar magnet away from the coil, you could see that the deflection is in opposite side. And as fast as you are moving, it will show the reading like that only. And keep the magnet stationary and move the coil. Bring the coil close to the stationary magnet and away from that. Then also you will observe the same deflection in the galvanometer what you done previous case with the magnet. So one thing we have to note that the galvanometer is showing the deflection whenever there is a relative motion between either coil or magnet. So what is the reason for this deflection in galvanometer? That means some current has been induced in this coil. That is the first thing. And the second one is that we are moving either magnet or coil. And because of that, it is showing some reading indicating some current has been induced in this. And now keep the magnet stationary, coil and magnet stationary, so that the coil is very close to that magnet. Then you won't see any deflection in the galvanometer. So here we observe when there is relative motion among the coil and magnet, the galvanometer is showing deflection. While they are stationary, it is not showing any reading or deflection. That means current has not been induced when they are stationary. When they are in motion, relative motion, either coil or magnet, then current has been induced. Right? Current has been induced. Now, what is the reason behind this induced current? Why current has been set up in this coil? While we are moving either coil or magnet, the magnetic field lines which are surrounding this magnet passes through this coil also. When it is very close, more magnetic flux is linking with this coil. When the magnet is taken far away, less amount of magnetic flux is linked with this coil. So it is causing some change in magnetic flux. Change in magnetic flux linked with the coil. So because of this change in magnetic flux linked with the coil, the current has been set up in the coil. That's why the galvanometer is showing some deflection. And while you are keeping the magnet stationary, there is no current induced, indicating that there is no change in magnetic flux. No change in magnetic flux, hence there is no induced current. So actually, the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction is nothing but there will be an induced EMF. Induced EMF in the coil when there is change in magnetic flux. Delta phi indicates change in magnetic flux, delta t in time. Okay, change in magnetic flux by time will give some induced EMF, thereby we will have induced current. Because of this induced EMF, we will have induced current. So epsilon is equal to delta phi by delta t is the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. By the relative motion of either coil or magnet, there will be a change in magnetic flux which results in induced EMF, thereby induced current.